Good morning. Welcome back to Fab and Build, everybody. Today we are going to take a minute, couple hours. I'm going to go and build a straight line. It's actually a taper straight line rip guide jig thing. So we are working on the drawers on the welding cart. We're still doing that, but I'm having to build this jig in order to finish these drawers with the black cherry, American cherry, that I've been working with. That are going to be the drawer fronts. So I'm going to build that. I'm going to go through the math and explain it. The base, 1/2 inch veneer core, 12 millimeter, 36 inches long by 16 inches wide. The runner guide is going to be 36 inches long and probably about 3.5 inches wide. I will go through and explain the math during the build on this as to where the slots are at and why the correlation to those slots is important to that runner guide to get full use of taper and everything else. Anyway, I will go through that as we get it. I wanted to mention real quick and make note to everybody. Thank you for everybody watching the channel and all the videos. I've had some questions about the bottle rack. The bottle rack was a really fun build for me. It was very purposeful, and obviously it means a lot to a lot of you guys and gals out there because you have been asking me questions about, can you get the measurements? Have I been able to get the website up yet where you can get those measurements? And thank you for that. I have not given up on that. I've just reached a lot of challenges in that area. So what we're doing is we're getting in the next lane, going up the road, and doing the next best thing. I am still going to get links, PDFs, and everything else that we can either put on the channel or in an Etsy store. I'm trying to get these available to you guys. And listen, I'm not going to be charging an exponential amount of money for these things, but I have to charge something. I'm not trying to get rich off this. I'm just really trying to pass on a good value, the information, the knowledge, and the instruction and plans that I have to you guys for a nominal fee. Okay, small. Anyway, again, that's where we're at on that. So thank you for being patient. I appreciate everybody's faithfulness, being here at the channel, putting faith in me to give you the content. Everybody has something to offer in this community. This is the way I feel. I really appreciate everybody's feedback. It helps me move in a direction that you guys, where I can help you guys better. So with that said, we're going to get busy on this taper straight line rip guide jig and get this thing put together so we can get back to these drawer fronts on this welding cart. Anyway, thanks for coming in. We'll see you back here in just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to make my first groove on this side under here. Then I have to flip it and I have to change these stops and move these stops for that side because they both have to be on this side. Now, I have another trick up my sleeve. Not going to be able to use the stops because the long ones go past the ends of the fences. So I'm going to realign these back in center where they go. 2 1/4 to the center of my bit. But I'll start from here, line this up, this break between these tracks right in the center of this line. When I bring that down, I'm going to bring it over I'm going to stop. I'm going to come up, come down, over, and stop. Now I have good clearance. If and when any of you guys and gals out there get to using routers, I've not seen anybody pointing this out, so I'm going to do it. But old school trick I learned from everybody before me that dealt with routers and did it all the time, don't ever bottom your bits out into the motor. You're going to transfer excess of heat from that motor into that bit, and you're going to wind up burning up the bit and burning up your material. Just a little FYI to pass on. That's what I wanted to do. Throw the plate on the ground. Anyway, little freebie there, tip for the day. Came out really good. So I could have gone halfway through, but you get the gist of what I'm doing here. So that fits in there. It's going to be nice and snug. I like the fit. That's not too tight. In fact, it's just about right. We're good on that. I'm going to take some sandpaper, run it through here, clean this up. We're going to get set back up on the bench over here. We're going to start running some T-nuts through this and put these things together and kind of see where we're at before we put that back piece on the hinges. Okay, so I'm going to try to slide in here a little bit. Now, when I was at Rockler the other day, I did pick up some other pieces of hardware for this. Alright, so we're going to put these in the bottom here. I still have to get some sandpaper through this. I'm just going to do a rough fit to see how well this is going to work. I think it should work pretty good. Where's my other one? Okay. Well, come on, Ron. Really? I may be taking this one back. What's going on with this thing? Get this up in here. All right, loosen that just a little bit. This was kind of my point in saying what I was saying. So if I do the taper, I have full range and I still have room left to go this way. I don't see where I'm ever going to use any or all of that at any given time, but it's nice to know that I have it. That was why I designed these slots as long and as far over as I did. Now, my math, the reason I get this is because I came 4 inches here and only 2 inches here. So that gives me the room on this one that I have extra where I can go. If you want it tight on yours, you can figure out the math and do it that way. It's not hard. Make your placements, drill a hole, place it, make a mark on your board where you think it ought to be based on the math of the dimensions of this. Put it down there, mark it. Come down, same thing. Get your idea here, drill a hole, mark it, whatever. You get this up here when it has the hinges on it. It's out of the way of these, right? It gives me a bit more leverage. Clamping down on something, I can still clamp on this one, or I can clamp on a thicker piece of wood. Okay, so I'm actually going to chisel these out. That's what we got going on here. So that works right there. Boom, hands in. Let me just do this while I have them sitting here. Would be easier. Oh, there it goes. I was just trying to grab it the wrong way. Now we're good. That's nice and easy. I like it. Okay. We are good. That works. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm back from town. I went and got another hold down clamp from Rockler. This one works quite well. So this was the one I had an issue with. We've got it exchanged. While I was there, I picked up a cam lever for locking down my taper guide stop. So I can pop it out 1 inch, lock it down. When I'm done, pop this open, recess that back, lock it back down in place. Here's the nice thing. This thing is right at the same width. It's just a little bit less than the plywood. So that's perfect for me. It works right out. So I've got my threaded insert in here, 5/8 or 5/16 18 came with the kit. I used a 5/16 18 5/8 inch long bolt with the head on it. Use that to insert this. Use a 27/64 brad point drill bit when you drill this out, if you do this. While you're doing that, make sure you clamp, if you're using plywood, okay, clamp it down. I'm going to make a suggestion here. If you're not getting any thicker than 3/4 and you're going to use a 5/16, 3/8 insert, I don't care if it is hardwood. Put a big face clamp on it or whatever, something that's got big jaws, whatever. I used a Craig clamp because they have the big round circles on them. Came in handy for me. I straddled it, or put this over on my router table, had the end sticking out. I put that big Craig clamp on it, right dead center of where that hole was drilled. Drilled that hole out, left that clamp on there until I was done putting glue, ran the insert in there and put accelerator in there and let it set. Then I took the clamp off after it set for a minute. Okay, I say a minute, probably 15, 20 minutes. Then I took my clamp off. And that is good. If you don't do that with plywood, and it could happen with hardwood, because on my plywood test, it did it on both of them. It separated it. The plies were coming apart as it was threading in there, is just pulling that plywood apart. So do yourself a favor if you use those, even if you do a 1/4 20, even if you do a 1/4 20, and it's a little bit narrower and smaller, okay, still use the clamp on the end, because that's really kind of, even on hardwood, it's easy to mess it up. So that should get you through. Glue it, tap it in there, little accelerator, it should stay and it should not come out. Anyway, we're going to get busy on that. I'm going to make my cherry stop. I'm going to make it 5 inches long, 3/8 inches wide, and from wherever the center of the hole is on this bolt for this cam lever, I'm going to go back. I'm going to drill a hole and I'm going to go back 1 inch, and I'm going to drill a slot right there. It only needs to be 1 inch because that's all it's ever going to come out. All right, it's never going to come out any more than that. So we're going to get busy, cut this down, get this fixed up, get this put on here, and then we're going to grab some of this wood over here and give it a shot and test it out. All right, we'll get a mark here. Like that. I'm going to transfer that mark across. And I'm going to have it 3/8. So I'll cut it 7/16, then plane it down. Yeah, that should be plenty. Alrighty. We're going to go from the center of that hole, and we're going to come back 1 inch. So when I do that, that's right on 1 inch. That's perfect. All right, sweet. I'm going to move to the router table. We'll get set up and then we're going to mill that out. Okay, I've got my, this is my width for all of this. This is my center line. I've got this lined up what I believe is the center. Yeah, you know what, that's close enough. That's got to be close enough. If not, I can shave it off the edge to make it fit. That's good. All right, I've got my 1 inch mark. I'm going to bring that around on the side where I can reference it. And again, we're going to use the brake that's in the middle of the bit. We're going to use the brake of the fence. That's my line. Be sure that's everything I need. Yep, that's going to be it. Okay, I'm going to cut the thickness first, and then I'm going to cut it to width. All right, so I'm cutting it. It's going to fall this side, so the big chunk is this way of the saw blade, so I have control of that. I almost forgot, I got to cut that off at 5 inches. Okay, so I was able to take the smallest file that I have. I use these for sharpening saws, smaller saws. I have a whole bunch of files over here. Anyway, this was the factory round edge. I don't know if you can see that. And now we have that cut off. So we're just going to thread that into here. Boom. Just like that. So I can spin this on here. Alright, so we can get down to here. Then I can actually just, once this is here, can cam lock that into place right there. And we are good to go. Boom. And that's it. Now we're going to put this thing together, and we are going to put a test piece in here and run that on the table saw. Get this lined up. I'm not trying to set as exact distance just yet. I'm going to rip this edge off. I've got a little This one is still the factory, but I'm going to scoot this over just a little bit. That actually is real close. Once I trim this one, I'm real sure that this one's going to just come right into play. So that's it. We could do the taper. It works the same way. I'll put a small piece in there and do the taper on it real quick just to show how that works. Easy enough done. I'll do this one here. I'll just put a slight taper on that one. Nothing too drastic. Get my blade back up here. All right. All right, everybody. This is going to be a wrap on the taper straight line rip guide jig. So I hope everybody has enjoyed the video. If you have any questions on anything that I've done here, where I got the materials, I'll actually include links where I got the materials for all of this. Pretty much you can get most of these things at your big box or wherever. I happen to source them from a local Rocklers in my area. That's not sponsored by Rockler in any way. In fact, I have 0 sponsors, people, just so you know. None of this stuff is sponsored. I buy it because it was what I had to get, what I know it's going to work for me. If you do have questions on that, put them below. I'll get back to you on it. Anyway, we hope that everybody's enjoyed the video. Everybody have a great holiday. Take care. Be kind to one another. And we'll see you back here in the shop.